Developing a successful training program requires careful planning, stakeholder alignment, and meticulous execution. This comprehensive guide will walk you through the essential steps to create, implement, and evaluate a training program that meets stakeholder needs whilst delivering measurable business impact. From initial context understanding to continuous improvement, each phase is critical to ensuring your training initiative achieves its intended outcomes. The agenda of this session will cover the following topics: understanding the business context, training needs analysis, establishing learning objectives, defining success metrics, designing training content, selecting training methodologies, creating engaging materials, and what's next. Before developing any training program, it's essential to gain a comprehensive understanding of the business context in which it will operate. This foundational step ensures that your training initiative aligns with organizational goals and addresses genuine business needs. Review the organization's strategic plan, mission statement, and annual objectives. Identify how the proposed training might support these broader business goals. Consider industry trends, competitive pressures, and market changes that might influence training requirements. Determine whether the training request stems from specific business challenges, such as performance gaps, compliance requirements, new system implementations, or changing work processes. Understanding the problem will help frame the training solution appropriately. Schedule initial conversations with key stakeholders to understand their vision for the training, expected outcomes, and how they believe success should be measured. Document these expectations clearly to ensure alignment from the outset. Remember that a training program disconnected from business realities is unlikely to gain necessary support or deliver meaningful results. This initial context-setting phase builds the foundation for all subsequent design decisions and helps ensure your training initiative will address real organizational needs. Successful training programs require support and input from various stakeholders across the organization. Identifying and effectively engaging these individuals early in the process is crucial for program success. These high-level decision-makers provide strategic direction, authorize resources, and remove organizational barriers. Their visible support lends credibility to the training initiative and helps secure necessary budget approvals. Direct supervisors of training participants play a critical role in reinforcing learning and providing opportunities to apply new skills. Their buy-in is essential for ensuring learners are given time and encouragement to attend and implement training. The intended audience for the training should be consulted to understand their current knowledge levels, learning preferences, and practical challenges they face in applying skills on the job. These individuals possess the technical knowledge that needs to be transferred. They provide content expertise, validate training materials, and may serve as reviewers or instructors in the program. Create a stakeholder engagement plan that outlines how and when each group will be involved in the training development process. Regular communication keeps stakeholders informed and invested in the program's success. Consider forming a steering committee with representatives from each stakeholder group to guide major decisions and monitor progress throughout the project lifecycle. A comprehensive training needs analysis, TNA, provides the evidence-based foundation for your training program. This systematic investigation identifies performance gaps and determines whether training is indeed the appropriate solution. Methods for gathering data. Surveys and questionnaires to capture broad perspectives. One-on-one interviews with key stakeholders and sample participants. Focus groups to explore issues in depth. Observation of current workplace practices. Analysis of performance data and metrics. Review of job descriptions and competency frameworks. Key questions to answer. What is the current state of performance? What is the desired state of performance? What specific knowledge, skills, or attitudes are lacking? Is training the appropriate solution, or are there other factors affecting performance? Who specifically needs training and at what level? What organizational factors might support or hinder application of learning? Your TNA should distinguish between nice-to-have and must-have training elements. This prioritization helps focus resources on addressing the most critical needs first. Be prepared to present evidence that training is indeed necessary and will address the identified performance gaps. Document your findings in a comprehensive report that clearly outlines the identified needs, their business impact, and recommendations for addressing them. This report becomes a critical reference point throughout the training design process and helps justify investment decisions. Well-crafted learning objectives are the compass that guides your training program design. They provide clarity about what participants should know, do, or feel differently after completing the training. Start with business outcomes. Connect learning objectives to the business goals identified in your needs analysis. For example, if the business goal is to reduce customer complaints, a learning objective might focus on improving service recovery techniques. Apply the SMART framework. Ensure objectives are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Instead of understand customer service, write demonstrate 3 techniques for handling difficult customer conversations by the end of the training. Consider Bloom's taxonomy. Structure objectives according to the appropriate cognitive level, from basic recall and comprehension to advanced application, analysis, evaluation, and creation based on job requirements. Writing effective objectives. Use action verbs that describe observable behaviors. Weak. Understand project management. Strong. Create a project plan including timeline, resource allocation, and risk assessment. Share objectives with stakeholders and potential learners to ensure they align with expectations and job requirements. Well-written learning objectives serve multiple purposes. They guide content development, influence methodology selection, inform assessment strategies, and set clear expectations for learners. They also provide the foundation for measuring training effectiveness after implementation. Establishing clear metrics and evaluation criteria before developing your training program ensures you can demonstrate its value and effectiveness to stakeholders. These measures help determine whether the training achieved its intended objectives and delivered a positive return on investment. Read carefully the items below quantitative metrics and the ones below qualitative measures. Under the quantitative section, you can see numerical measures that provide data about program performance. Under the qualitative section, you can see descriptive data that provides insight into perceptions and experiences. Work with stakeholders to determine which metrics matter most for their business context. Consider establishing baseline measurements before training begins to enable meaningful comparison of pre- and post-training performance. Align metrics with objectives. Each learning objective should have corresponding success metrics. For example, if an objective is to reduce processing time, measure actual time savings after training. Establish realistic targets. Work with stakeholders to set ambitious but achievable targets for each metric based on industry benchmarks or organizational history. Plan data collection methods. Determine how, when, and by whom evaluation data will be collected. Consider using learning management systems, surveys, observation checklists, or performance tracking tools. Document your evaluation framework in a comprehensive plan that outlines metrics, targets, collection methods, analysis approaches, and reporting timelines. This plan will guide your evaluation activities throughout the training life cycle. A well-structured training program provides a logical progression of concepts that builds learner confidence and competence. The content structure creates the framework upon which all training materials will be developed. The section Content, Sequential Approaches and Module Development Considerations displays the difference between the types of content development. The important details in the center of this page illustrate the focus that designers have to follow during the development. 1. Pre-training. 2. Introduction, where the plan is presented. 3. The core content development. 4. The application, where all the exercises, scenarios, role play are defined. 5. The assessment, including the feedback and coaching. And 6. The follow-up of the training and efficiency of its content and delivery. Create a detailed content outline that maps each topic to specific learning objectives and includes estimated timeframes. This outline serves as a blueprint for content developers and helps ensure comprehensive coverage without unnecessary duplication or gaps. Consider developing a visual learning journey map that illustrates how concepts build upon each other and how the program flows from beginning to end. This can be shared with stakeholders and learners to provide a clear overview of the program structure. Choosing the right training methodologies is crucial for engaging learners and achieving desired outcomes. Different learning objectives and audiences may require different approaches to instruction. Instructor-led training, best for complex topics requiring discussion, immediate feedback, and social learning. Formats, workshops, seminars, lectures, demonstrations, considerations requires skilled facilitators, consistent delivery, and logistics management. E-learning, best for consistent content delivery, self-paced learning, and geographical distribution. Formats, interactive modules, videos, simulations, quizzes. Considerations, requires technical infrastructure, instructional design expertise, and user-friendly interface. On-the-job training, best for practical skills, contextualized learning, and immediate application. Formats, job shadowing, coaching, guided practice, stretch assignments. Considerations, requires well-trained coaches, structured approach, and performance support tools. Increasingly, organizations are adopting blended learning approaches that combine multiple methodologies to maximize engagement and effectiveness. Consider how different methods might work together to reinforce learning. When selecting methodologies, consider learner preferences, organizational constraints, content complexity, available technology, and sustainability of the approach. The right methodology should align with both learning objectives and practical implementation requirements. High-quality training materials significantly impact learner engagement and knowledge retention. Effective materials combine strong instructional design with appropriate media to create a compelling learning experience. The sections below display the different types of training material, like participation guides, presentation materials, and digital objects. Please read carefully and pause it at your discretion to be able to understand the differences. Establish a review process for all materials that includes content accuracy checks, instructional design review, and user testing. Develop style guides and templates to ensure consistency across all program components. Remember that effective materials are learner-centered, visually appealing, and designed to facilitate both comprehension and application. Our next module will cover the Part 2 of the Executive Training Program creation. We will cover 1. Piloting the program with a test group. 2. Collecting feedback. 3. Implementation strategies. 4. Training program evaluation using the Kirkpatrick model. 5. Key steps for success.